Hello, we've got Rob Goodfellow here, who's the current president of UCU. So, I want to put some questions to Rob about how he sees things moving in the next year while he's president. But maybe first of all, a few words about Rob. Rob, tell me a wee bit about yourself. You're from FE?
Hi Doug, yes, I'm from FE.
Aye.
I teach HE in FE, HE Computing. We recently got foundationally awarding powers at the college where I work, which is Hull College.
All right.
It's also a group of colleges, it's HCUK, so we also have a college in Harrogate, we have a college in Goole as well. But these are merged colleges that have their own identity. They haven't lost that. So no doubt I should be talking about something else in a bit. And
Yes.
at least I can say from a positive point of view, those three colleges are still going forward.
And you've been in the union for quite a while?
I've been in the union for best part of 20 years because I've been in teaching for 20 years. 4 years part-time, the rest of it was full-time. And first one was just teaching word processing on an evening in a local college. Then I went up, found a job in Hull College, which was a small college, £30 million, developed up to £70 million a few years ago, but is now dropping off a bit with the government funding, unfortunately. Or the lack of it, I should say.
And you've had lots of different positions in the union before?
The union itself, I started off as a vice chair because there was a local...
That was local?
Yep, started off as a local vice chair. There was a vacancy, and I've always been brought up, if you want to actually take part or grumble or do anything about it...
Step up to the
Step
mark,
up, yes. Otherwise, keep your mouth shut. And I find it difficult to keep my mouth shut. And I've been progressing through the local branch and then onto the FE committee, etc. and now president. So I have
no, it's
held
fantastic, and I
all
look
of those.
forward to your time as president. Okay, now priorities of the union are obviously set at the Congress, and then the National Executive Committee looks at it overall in the UK, and there's of course the FE committee and the HE committee. What do you see as the priorities for the union over the next year, or what's the role of the president in pushing for action on various things?
Well, one of the things about the priorities come from Congress, and the President's role is to make sure that those priorities are taken forward. Now that's a case of edging the elected officials, making sure that they take notice of that and don't bring their own personal ideas forward, their own agendas, but also making sure the staff, the paid officials, do follow those strategies as well, whether they like it or not. Because Congress is the sovereign body, so that's where the priorities come from. But of course, not everything can be done, depends how many priorities there are, not everything can be done to the same depth. So it's a case of what's the priorities ongoing year on year from Congress that we can actually carry forward and make most noise about, I suppose, and most effect on, and that's what we're trying to do.
The defender of the democracy of the union,
Absolutely.
but trying to push being pragmatic in terms of what can we actually achieve.
Yeah,
and so on.
and some things we can achieve a lot more on either working with other unions. Some things we just work on our own.
Okay.
One of the good transition collaborations is what we're going to be doing on the 19th of November, Saturday the 19th,
with the
with the NUS, the
demonstration.
national
Yes.
demonstration. And just been speaking about that in the TUC, trying to get everyone else realising that it's happening, trying to get people there.
That's good. So, in terms of current priorities for FE and HE, what do you see briefly are the priorities in FE?
I don't want people to get the wrong idea, there's lots of priorities in both. But if you was to hold me down to one priority in each, then for FE it would be the area reviews, because this will lead to the saying at least 50 colleges disappearing, which is where I went back to my own group. We still have 3 colleges, none of them have disappeared. In the area reviews you will see colleges disappearing, and the campuses will be sold off. And what they're going to be sold off for? They're going to be paying off debts. And that's not a great thing, because once they've gone, and they're never going to come back. And this is a community resource that's going to be lost.
And it's a government-initiated
It's a government-initiated review.
And they're trying to do it on their terms, whereas the UCU are saying, no, it has to be on terms of the staff, the students, and indeed the community that we serve as a college.
This is a rule of saving money, and it's a paltry sum when you start talking about the deficit or whatever. It's tiny, but it will have a huge impact on staff, on students, and the local communities. These are relatively well-paid jobs we're talking about here. So what happens? People made redundant. So the colleges are getting the money from the buildings, the assets, to pay for redundancies. What a waste of money.
Yeah.
But what about those individuals? They're now redundant, so they've lost the spending power. That impacts the local community, leads them to lay off staff, so there's redundancies.
So it's a negative multiplier, and you know, it's
and if the college is gone,
lose-lose situation.
Where do the redundant people go and retrain?
Definitely. What about HE? How do you read the priorities for UCU and the HE sector at the moment?
In England, it has to be the white paper, bringing competition in, which on paper sounds fine. Most people would turn around and say, well, you know, the university's had it too easy for too long. Yeah, okay, well, if that's your opinion, that's fine. But again, that's on paper. In reality, the government wants it easy for private organisations to come in, to compete, but then easy to leave. Why should it be easy to leave? Because then these private organisations can do a quick smash and grab on the profits. Come in, make a quick buck, leave, and who's left with the pieces? The universities, and of course who's put them on the heap?
The students. You might say,
Yes.
And that's happened, of course. A couple of the privatised ones have gone bust, and it's been, you know, what happens to students that are 2 years in it or 3 years in a course, then we, the taxpayer, has to pick up. So that's the importance, I presume, of the campaign from the public university and all the other initiatives, cradle to the grave, and so on, that we've been arguing for.
It's one that we've been arguing for, it's one that we've been shouted about, again, so that people realise what's actually going on. Because who in the street would know about white papers? I'll be honest. If you ask me in a different industry about someone else's white paper, would I know? No, unless there's been some publicity. And with the right-wing press that we have, we always have trouble getting publicity out for people to realise what's going on.
And of course, they're pushing for the teaching, so-called teaching excellence on all these league tables as well, which is impacting on Scotland, because the white paper doesn't apply to Scotland. But if you have league tables for teaching, which will be used to ramp up the fees in England, students wanting to come to Scotland will be saying, where are the universities ranked? So it's really having an impact on us as well. Although, thank heavens, we're not going down the route of fee-paying universities and so on.
And I would like to say we all know what happens with league tables, don't we? But maybe we don't. The trouble with league tables, again, it's one of those things on paper, sounds wonderful, but league tables can be distorting the market. A true league table would be one that justifies where someone comes into the college or to the university and where they leave, the distance travelled. You don't hear so much about that these days. It used to be very big in FE. That really tells the difference for a student, where they've come in, where they've left. You get fantastic students to Oxford, Cambridge, or a really plush university, and they come out with a reasonable degree. They haven't travelled far. You would expect them to come out with a better degree, really. Whereas if you get a student who is maybe the first one in their entire family coming to a university, getting a decent degree, that's a massive distance travel for that entire family, let alone the individual.
And it could transform the family, not only the individual, but you know, those connected to him.
And it sets them
as well.
off when they get a family of their own. It sets them keen to actually get their kids through university and we're back to the distance travelled. It's fantastic, and that's not measured enough. Certainly in league tables, they don't take that into account, and it's a real shame. So it's an artificial measure. So I'm not keen at all, as you might imagine, on league tables, but I know it's a thing we have to live with.
Yeah, live with and work with NUS to change them to.
Absolutely, put pressure on.
Yeah. So, distance travelled, mostly for young people in colleges and universities. What about the health of the union in terms of the profile of our union members? This TUC has talked about opening up the movement to make sure we get young trade unionists in. How are we doing in the UCU?
We've heard we had a fantastic movement on the stage, and it was all the youngsters from the different unions coming on and saying why they joined a union, why they felt they should be in a union, and why other young people should be in a union. It's fantastic. When I'm at Congress next year, I want some of our youngsters to be on that stage doing exactly the same thing, because again, with the press that we have, unions are seen as a dinosaur. I'm something that should have gone out with the Ark and all the rest of it. No, it's not the case at all. But we need to convince the youngsters that they should be in a union. There is a reason that we can get past things like the miners' dispute. That isn't something that, oh yeah, it's old-fashioned, it's traditional, and I don't want to be part of that, I'm a youngster. Yeah, well, we need to convince them that we are for them as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a student, you go to university, one of the things you do is you join NUS or the Students' Association, often for the
for discounts.
discounts and everything. So we need to do something to make sure the UCU is the community for staff, so that you know, to go and work at a university and not join a union, whether it's us or one of the support unions, would be unthinkable. So that's a big target if you're wanting that at the Congress next year. But fantastic. The Congress in 2017, then I've been to 3 or 4 congresses. I get frustrated sometimes at the culture of the Congress. Is there any way we can make the Congress more inclusive, more friendly, where it's not a case of winning the vote, but it's winning the argument? I think sometimes, you know, Congress, we have a vote, it divides us, somebody wins the vote, but the argument isn't really won. Is there anything we can do to improve that culture?
Well, I'll be chairing next year's Congress, and I intend to make it as friendly a Congress as I possibly can. And that's not just a throwaway comment. I want branches to realise why they should send motions, first of all. And I chaired the Strategy and Finance Committee recently, and I want a glossy single-side document going forward to say to branches why they should send motions, what's in it for them. Not so that I've got loads of motions to talk about on Congress, and if I have too many and too little time, well, that's for me to worry about. But I want these motions to come from the branches so their priorities are coming forward. So they can't turn around and say, well, we're not engaged with the union. Well, if they're not, it's their choice, but we don't want that. We need them to see the positives. And then the second part of that is getting them to send a delegate. And if we can get quite a few young delegates going forward, they can say, we are the lifeblood of the union going forward. We should be there, we should be on stage. And if they come forward and say, we're the first-time speaker or first-time Congress, we will give them a nice round of applause, and you'll see that nice and warm. And yeah, if it's a case of two blocks voting, I don't like that at all any more than anyone else does. But that means bring a decent speech. If you need help with that, I'm sure we've got plenty of people that can do that and get your point forward. The way to make a decent speech is to be passionate about what you're thinking about. And if it's a local issue, you'll be passionate.
That's great. Thank you, Rob, and look forward to seeing you chairing the conference.
Thanks, Doug.
And reporting. We can report retrospectively on your successes in this area. Thanks very much.